What is it? Hello? Is it on? Yeah, what's wrong there?
Yeah, man, no problem, brother. So look, I have a question for you, man.
Let's see if it's just starting. Is it starting?
But I wanted to ask about, I want to talk about politics, but mainly about just to keep it very simple. I wanted to ask you about Allah, man. The proof that Allah exists.
Yeah, sure.
For me, I've been atheist since about the age of 8 years old.
Yeah, okay.
And none of these beliefs make sense. I was raised Catholic.
Okay.
For me, I'm not like in favor of a particular religion because none of them make sense to me, man.
Okay, that's a good question.
Yeah. I wanted to talk to someone who's got some knowledge about this.
I've got a bit of knowledge. Ready?
So Ali, how long have you been coming to Speakerscorner?
About 9 years.
For 9 years.
Yeah. You?
It's so good, isn't it? I've been coming since I was 19, so about 6 years.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I almost never went into the religious. You know how there's like politics on one side and so usually I talk to the anti-vaxxers and the...
Yeah, I spoke to someone.
Yeah, sometimes I debate the cowboy.
The American one.
He pushed me off his ladder. I was on his ladder. I jumped up on his ladder just quickly because I wanted to speak. Yeah. And he like literally pushed me off the ladder.
Oh my God.
Not very Christian, is he?
Well, that's the thing. That's the irony. He says you should love your enemy and turn the other cheek.
Yeah, man.
They're bloody throwing people off ladders.
No, it's not good. Not good. So yeah, I just wanted to ask, what is the proof that Allah exists?
Jabi, can you ask that?
What? How can you prove that Allah exists? I need to know this. I need to hear what I've heard the Christian side. Yeah. I need to hear the Muslim explanation.
What's
For me, I can't believe in God, any kind of God, Allah, God, Zeus, any of them.
What's your name?
My name's Kyle.
Kyle, nice to meet you. My name's Ali.
Ali, nice to meet you.
Okay, so the thing is, firstly, I think everybody has an innate desire to worship a higher being, but we are filled with so many false deities, and what happens is we sometimes, like you as a Catholic or Christian, whoever it may be, any background, when you see that Christianity doesn't make sense and the Trinity doesn't make sense, what you do is you apply that to all religions, which is not fair, because you're like, okay, this didn't make sense to me, all religions are the same. That happens a lot. I don't really blame you, it's just, sadly it just happens, So what happens is, like I said before, you follow a specific religion, you don't get answers, things don't make sense, therefore you put all the religions in the same category.
I don't want to do that.
Islam is not the same as Christianity or any other religions. Islam is pure monotheism. And now you want to know that God exists, yeah? Okay, now our concept of God and the concept of God in Christianity are two separate things. Because in Christianity, they have brought God Almighty to into the creation. So they claim that God walked like me and you on earth. And to me, that's bonkers. It's crazy. How could God Almighty that created the heavens and the earth? There are more stars in our universe, there are sand particles in our planet. And the one that created them came and walked on earth like me and you, ate food, had to go toilet. Can you imagine God Almighty in the toilet?
Well, it's, yeah.
Exactly, that's my point. So we say no, we negate that. So we say God is not in its creation. Now, how do we prove that? There's different. I can come to you from the argument of contingency. So we know that there are dependent, contingent beings that are dependent and contingent and in our universe. Yeah? So that goes from me to you to the very light is that shining on us. Yeah? This light that's shining on us requires electricity. Yeah? So it depends on electricity for its survival. It's got other elements that it's made of, be it steel or metal or plastic and other rubber, whatever it may be, for its existence. So we say this is dependent, it's contingent. Yeah? And it's not self-sufficient.
No, it's not.
Okay. So what we say is we cannot have an infinite regress of dependent beings. So
it has to be a first cause.
There has to be, you could call it primary.
Why does it have to be though?
No, it has to be, it's necessary. What it means is that it's like we cannot have sea without seabed. Am I right or wrong?
Sure, but how can you draw that analogy? That's an analogy that I don't think really fits.
Why?
Physicists and scientists, they don't actually know exactly where the universe comes from.
It doesn't matter.
They've created hypotheses like the Big Bang, but they don't know what came before that. They don't pretend that they know.
That's fine.
The problem with me is that religion, and this is where Christianity and Islam kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
They insist that there must be some sort of first or final cause that started all of that.
It requires that. That's what we call it.
Why does it
because that's what we
that?
call it the necessary being. Because what did I say? Remember, we have dependent, contingent beings in our universe. And you cannot have an infinite regress of dependent things.
Can you explain to me how you get from the analogy of the lamp to the whole universe?
Okay.
That's one little tiny lamp.
Exactly.
How can you use that as an analogy for the whole
Exactly,
universe?
because this tiny lamp is dependent. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree on that.
It's not self-sufficient.
I'm trying to understand how you work from that to the whole universe. For me, it's too much of a jump.
That's what I'm trying to do now, yeah? Can we agree that this lamp is dependent and not self-sufficient?
Exactly.
Okay. Now let's talk of a bigger lamp, a star, our sun. right? Is our sun self-sufficient or is it dependent?
I'm not an astrophysicist. I don't know much about this, but as far as I know, it comes from hydrogen. So it shows together by gravity.
There you go. So it's
I'm
made out.
Not an expert. So.
It's made out of composing parts, which means it's dependent.
Yes.
Anything that composed of parts is dependent. So therefore, what we say is we have a bigger sun, which I know you know. Have you seen that video which shows our planet to?
Yes.
And it's like woo, and then you have the biggest star, which is like bloody hell. It fits like our sun in there probably a billion times.
Yeah.
That is dependent. Now what we say is this cannot go on forever. Because then you have the fallacy of infinite regress of dependent beings. It's a fallacy.
I don't even think scientists claim it goes on forever. They just don't know.
No, I don't know.
I'm not the more scientific cast of mine than religious. So
I understand.
I go with that. They don't claim that they know. In a way, we have to just accept that we're not sure right now.
No, but saying
Why
I
do we
don't
have
know.
to create a belief that's not necessarily true?
But we believe scientists are creating a belief. The belief that I don't know, therefore don't question. What does that mean?
No, they don't say don't know, therefore don't question. They're constantly trying to find this out.
But what we're saying is logically, let's break it down.
Okay.
And if it makes sense or not. So what we're trying to say is we cannot have a infinite regress of dependent things. Meaning, you cannot have, for example, dependent things relying on each other forever. There has to be a point of start. This is logical. This is rational.
If there has to be a point of start, why does it have to be God?
No, it's not. I'm not even talking about God now. I'm talking about that if there is a beginning point. That's what I want to do
Let's
first.
say I agree with you on that. I actually am not sure.
Not
but
necessarily.
let's say for the sake of discussion, yes, there has to be a first point. Why is it God? Can I ask that question?
I don't agree with this term of let's say for the argument's sake. I have to prove my point.
Well, we're having a philosophical discussion.
I know,
Let's speak hypothetically a little bit.
Not necessarily in the context, because what happens is when I make my premise, you will come and say, well, I just said for argument's sake. I don't want argument's sake. I want for us to be certain.
Okay, for me, I can't claim that I agree with you on that. I don't know.
No, you can.
I just don't know.
Okay, can we have something coming from nothing?
I don't know enough about metaphysics to dispute that.
Come on. Look what I'm saying.
Things have to come from somewhere.
Thank you.
But that doesn't mean we know what that something is.
It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, as long as we acknowledge that there is that
cause
something.
Cause and effect.
Okay, good. I'm not even using the cause and effect argument, but you agree that there is a point of beginning, and there is something there. I'm not saying that is God. I haven't said that yet. All I'm saying is, do we agree that logically and rationally we deduce and understand that there was a point of beginning?
I'm neither disagreeing nor agreeing with that. I'm saying we don't know. There might have been a first beginning of time.
No.
There might have been, but there may not have been. I don't know.
It's not. I don't know. You said a minute ago there must be something, but now you're saying no.
You're insisting that I take a side, but I don't know enough about the subject.
No, but I don't know. But I don't know. It's not really an answer.
If I was to ask you to comment on the inner workings of that lamp, are you an electrician? I don't know if you are.
No, I'm not.
So you aren't. You wouldn't be able to tell me exactly how it works.
But an electrician would.
And you'd be fine to say, look, I'm not sure.
Yes.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Not
I don't know whether there is infinite regress.
Not necessarily, because you're denying that even that lamp exists.
No, I am saying the lamp exists. What I'm saying is the first chorus, we don't. That's a false analogy.
Me saying I don't know how that works is not the same as me denying that it doesn't exist. You're denying the existence of something. So do you get it?
I'm saying I don't know whether there's a first chorus or not.
No, it's very easy. Me saying I don't. If you said to me, Ali, how does this work? I say I don't know. That's not where you're at. You're saying, Ali, I don't even think there is a lamp.
No, I do think there is a lamp.
This analogy you're saying I don't know if there's a lamp, because I'm saying to you, can something come from nothing?
Well, no, not generally, no. But scientists are having doubts about this.
No. The scientists can have no doubt about this, because if you logically think about it, 0 can never give rise to 1. It's a mathematical, logical, rational impossibility. What you're saying is as good as magic. If you look at magic, a magician has a hat and a rabbit comes out.
Okay,
at least you have a rabbit and a hat that it comes out from.
I think I'm coming around to your point of view
What
now.
scientists are saying is this, and this is the biggest magic trick, that there was nothing, the absence of something, and something came to be. That is an absurd claim. So what we're saying is there is a point where everything began to exist. What caused it? I want to talk about.
I'm going to say that probably for me, the most logical explanation is a Big Bang.
But even the Big Bang, it's a point of, for example, if you reverse it, it comes to a single point of what caused that.
And I'm willing to accept that there was something before the Big Bang.
Like what?
Now that's what I wanted to ask you about.
Yes.
For me, I can't say that it's God.
I'm not even talking about God. Look, I said again, I'm not talking about God.
I don't know what came before.
Okay, no problem.
I don't know.
No problem. But you have to accept that there was something that may have had to give rise to the Big Bang. The Big Bang cannot give rise to itself. So what we're saying now
is... So what was that something?
Good. Now we're talking. Now what we're saying is that something has to be independent. It has to be self-sufficient and it has to be necessary. Why? Because if it's dependent, then it falls back into the category of the creation, because it's dependent. So it requires something independent for it to give rise to
When
it.
you say this word creation, that implies of some kind of conscious human being type
well, of course,
supreme aspect
well,
that could create that stuff consciously. It might have just flowed organically out of nothing.
No, it can't be.
Or out of something else.
No, it can't be. What did we say? It cannot come from nothing. It has to be something else. Now,
that something else may not have created it.
No
it may
problem.
have just...
That something else is either dependent and depends on something else, and then something else,
Yeah,
and then
it might
we
just
have.
go back forever.
That's the problem now. You cannot have a dependent. What did I say? My first premise was you cannot have an infinite regression of dependent things, because what will happen is we will never be here if that carried on forever, and what created that thing, and that created that thing, and then it'll go on forever.
It's a mystery, and I love to enjoy that mystery.
Let me tell you.
We don't have to say it's God.
No. But you know why? The thing is
creator.
we are using our logic. If you go home and you see a plate smashed on the floor.
I can follow what you're saying. Let's move on beyond this, because I've already agreed with you that there was probably something that created
but something, let me tell you about that something.
But what was that something?
Okay, good. So what I'm trying to say is this, we have to be consistent, because sometimes certain atheists, not yourself, sometimes they're inconsistent. When they go home and see a phenomena, let's say for example a plate smashed on the floor, they don't go and say, I don't know what caused that. In the context, wow, there's possibilities. Earthquake, the cat tipped it over, the window was open, the wind blew it, somebody done it. You come to rational conclusions. It must be one of these or some kind of a phenomena that caused it. You will never come and say, it's none of these and I don't know what happened.
No, there must be a reason.
Good. So what we're saying is, let's use the same logic and rationality. That what we say is that thing that gave rise to that has to be intelligent. It has to have a will, because if it gave rise to it, which you said, the Big Bang, there's something there we don't know what it is. Whatever that thing is, it has to have the power of will.
Why?
Because how could it give rise to the Big Bang?
Are you telling me that, say for example, there was a really stormy day and then the wind blew a plate in your house onto the ground and it smashed?
Yeah.
Are you saying the wind was intelligent,
No,
conscious, had a will?
no, not at all. I never even said that. That's not even what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you
So why
is
does
that
it have to be the first thing that caused the universe?
Because what we're saying is,
intelligent
what
and
we're
a will?
saying is that the one who willed the wind to be created is the one. We're not giving it to the wind. You're giving the attributes of the God that we talk about to the wind.
Why does it have to be intelligent and have a will?
It has to, because let me tell you why. For example, if I show you a painting of somebody who's drawn a masterpiece of a bird, when we look at that, we don't see the painter, but we do know there was a painter. We do know that he had a will to do it. We know that he needed knowledge, and we know he required skills. So what we're doing is we are giving attributes based on the product that it's made.
Because that's a painting. I could just as easily say, look, I found, I don't know.
There's no example we can give.
No, there is a good example.
Give me one.
I could say, for example, that there was. Let's go back to the analogy of the wind. The wind knocks over the wind knocks over the vase full of flowers, and they smash on the ground.
Yes.
I see the smash. If I then could put two and two together and I say definitely it was the wind.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the wind was intelligent.
But I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you agree.
So I could just use an analogy that's just as the contrary analogy to your one.
Not really, because what you're doing is you're giving the attributes to a wind. We say the wind is dependent, but what you've accepted is this: the wind blew. You're using something logical.
It's not will or conscious. It's a force of nature.
No. Force of okay. Blind forces of nature?
Yeah.
No, okay. What you're doing is now, you're deifying, like, you know, some people, you watch David Attenborough, Mother Nature. And
That's a metaphor, brother.
Mother Nature. What the hell is Mother Nature?
It's a metaphor. No one's saying it seriously.
No, I know.
I know.
What I'm trying to say is the following. The fact that you ascribe it to evolution or Mother Nature and random events taking place is a deity, because what you're doing is random. But let me tell you why. You're telling blind processes are coming together and causing things. For example, we have consciousness. An atom doesn't have consciousness. I have a will. An atom doesn't have a will. How does an atom give rise to a being like myself who has consciousness and a will to do something?
Forces of nature.
No, it doesn't have the properties. If I have an empty glass and I say, if we give an infinite amount of time, would I ever have a chocolate strawberry cake?
Well, if the right conditions had emerged in nature, yes, you would.
If the properties to make a chocolate fudge cake is not in the cup, how does it give rise to it?
Well, I can't see that happening. Yeah.
That's my point. Time is irrelevant, because the properties to make a strawberry cheesecake with extra strawberry, because I like strawberries, if it's not in the cup, it will not give rise to it. So how does atoms and energy that we have, that are blind processes, giving rise to conscious beings like us who have a will? It's an impossibility, and that's the reason why.
Nature.
But
evolution is built on a dance between
but do you see what
accidents of nature, mutations,
accidents of nature. Look at this.
Also, humans are now at the point where we're so intelligent, we can consciously guide our own evolution.
But look at what you're saying. Accidental. You're saying blind processes having an accident.
Again, biologists don't know where life comes from. They're not claiming that they know.
No problem. But what do they
They're
know?
still trying to find that out.
They do know is that the first cell is a very complex thing. Yeah, can someone help us? You okay?
See, that happened. That was an accident, right? No one forcefully willed that to happen.
No, really.
She fell off the bike because you can describe all the conditions that led to that.
That's not an accident.
You can say there was no intelligent will behind that. She's probably a decent cyclist, but it's slippery today. And this is what happens. Accidents happen.
That's not accident, because if you believe in science, if you look at the factors, if those factors didn't happen, she would not fall down. So what it is we don't believe, as an atheist science, believe in science, you can't believe in accidents. Because chance and accidents are things that, for example, when I throw a dice, okay, what's the possibility for it to come in double sixes? There is no such thing as chances, because the element, once you know the condition of the weather and the way you throw it and the style he throws it at, you will have the exact same results. So this is called hard determinist.
I'm a hard determinist.
There you go.
Yeah.
If you're a hard determinist, that's not accident.
Well, look,
you can't, because that there is if you knew the factors, that could be avoided. So the point I'm trying to say, if you're a hard determinist, you have to believe in a determiner.
No, why do I have to believe in a conscious will that's intelligent? Why?
What was your name? Sorry.
Kyle.
Ali.
Ali.
I'm bad.
No, don't worry. It's okay.
Kyle, if you are a hard determinist, you have to believe in a determiner. Because how could you believe in hard determinism that all of these things?
A determiner, yes, but not. It doesn't have to be an intelligent creator.
But
we're giving human attributes.
No, not human attributes. What we're saying is just because we use the same term doesn't mean it's the same thing. What we're saying is the following: when we go back and talk about the necessary being that's independent and self-sufficient, what we're saying is that when we gave the example of a painting, when we look at a painting, we never saw the painter, but we have to rationally, logically, as an atheist or a scientist or religious person, accept a couple of things.
The analogy of the painting does not fly.
It
the
does
reason
fly.
being,
Let me tell you why.
That a painting is just a tiny
Yes.
part of reality.
Exactly.
You can't use a tiny,
yes.
infinitesimally tiny part of reality to reason out into the entirety of this reality we live in.
But it does. If it works in a micro level, it works in a macro level.
That's just not true.
Why not? For example, if the picture, we look at a picture of a painting, we have to accept certain attributes of the painter. Number one, he exists.
He was a human though, not a created God.
I don't mind. Look, no problem. No problem. What I'm saying is you have to follow this. Does he exist?
Are you saying reality is like a painting?
No.
Are you really saying reality? Our reality we live in is a painting?
No. I'm giving an analogy.
It's nothing like a painting.
I'm giving an analogy which you have no choice but to ascribe it to the creator. Let me tell you why. Do you accept the painter has exists?
Yes, the painting exists.
Do you accept that he has a will?
Yes.
That he has to be conscious?
Yes.
He has to be knowledgeable?
Yes.
He has to have skills?
But that's a human being, not a God.
No problem. I'm fine with that.
How can you? That's almost blasphemous as a Muslim to draw an analogy from a man and to use that as a justification.
Not at all. I'm using logic, because what you're doing now is you deduce that attribute. What did you do? You gave the attribute by looking at a painter. You didn't see the painter. He exists. He has conscience. He has a will. He has knowledge. He has skills. Good. 1 second. Let's go to the bird that he drew? Let's go to the actual bird. Now the bird itself, there has to be, if the bird is there has to be a creator.
No, there doesn't.
Look at double standards.
Evolution.
Look, that's your God.
Came about by evolution.
Look, 1 second.
No, it's nothing like
one
God.
second. Even if
scientific
it's
process.
even if it's evolution,
it's not a religious concept.
Even if it's evolution, it doesn't take away. You know what you've done now? You've gone back to the boiling point of the first cell. The first cell is a very complex mechanism. So therefore, what gave rise to the first cell?
Biologists don't know this. They're trying to find this out.
Okay, this is what I'm saying.
There's an investigation
and you know
into
what?
this topic
You know what?
as we're speaking.
Allah says in the Quran, Allah actually talks about this. Allah talks about the psychology. He says, and if you ask them who created the heavens, or did it come from nothing, or did they create it themselves? You know what they'll say? I don't know.
That's good.
That's not good.
It's good to accept when you don't have enough knowledge.
No. What that is to me, it's like a cop-out.
It takes humility to accept when you're not sure, and then to continue the scientific investigation, rigorous scientific investigation. The sooner Muslims and Christians abandon their religious beliefs and adopt scientific ways of thinking.
You're religious.
No, I'm not.
You are. Your God is evolution, and your religion is sciences. You are religion. Don't get it. Don't get it twisted. You know what I really don't like? I find it really bizarre.
Evolution is a scientific process. God is a religious concept.
No.
In fact, again, it's blasphemous as a Muslim to say that.
No, not at all. It's not.
To use the word God in the context of scientific inquiry.
No, there is.
You're twisting a concept that's supposed to be very sacred to you.
No, God tells us that. Have you seen the one who takes his desires his own God? God tells us there are false deities. What you've done in a nutshell.
You're using God in two different ways.
No, not at all.
There's the way we use the word God when it's something that we just very value. I could say wine is my God or money is my God.
Exactly.
But that's a different. You're using the same word but in a different.
Well, of course, because Allah tells us to use it different way.
Let's not mix up concepts.
But why is it that when we talk about a picture of a bird, exists, conscious, will, knowledge, skill. Let's talk about the bird itself. Evolution. One second, let me get this right. Evolution of blind processes.
Not blind processes.
It is a blind process.
You're very black and white.
1 second.
You're saying it's either blind or it's intelligent.
No problem.
It's somewhere in the middle.
Prove it.
Evolution.
That's you telling me prove it and I got bananas.
No, do you want me to?
No, that's not. That's prove to me.
I mean, I can give you my best. I've read some Charles Darwin. I can explain as far as I know how it works.
Charles Darwin believed in God. Read his, there was a book written about it.
Yeah, that doesn't mean he was wrong about evolution.
No, it doesn't matter. What I'm saying to you, believing in evolution doesn't take God out of the picture.
You can have wrong beliefs and still come up with good ideas.
You can be a scientist who believes in evolution, who believes in God. It doesn't contradict each other.
Yeah, I've met plenty of scientists.
Exactly.
Muslim,
so therefore, it doesn't mean you don't believe in God.
What they're doing is, in most of their daily life, or let's say their work life, and let's say for example they're investing in atoms or planets or evolution, animals, birds. They're never, if they're good scientists, going to bring in religious concepts to that. When they're investigating. No, because it will be contrary to science.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say. Even when you go with science, the point is this: how are you?
They would keep their religious stuff for Sunday mass.
But you said, for example.